Welcome back to our channel Nucleus. In previous class, we have discussed about aerobic and anaerobic respiration. But in today's class, we're going to discuss about respiration in plants and in animals. In plants, respiration occurs through different parts of the plant like stem, roots and leaves. Now, how respiration occurs through root? The root of the plant takes in oxygen that are present between the particles of the soil by the process of diffusion. The oxygen gets diffused into the root hairs and reaches all other cells of the roots for transpiration. Carbon dioxide produced moves out through the same root hairs by the same process. Now, let us discuss how respiration occurs through stem. Some herbs have stomata on their stem. In them, respiration takes place through this stomata by diffusion process. In some woody plants, the bark has lenticels that carry out the respiration through the stem. The oxygen diffuses into the stem through lenticels from respiration. In the same way, carbon dioxide is diffused out. Now the next part is how respiration occurs through leaves. Leaves have tiny pores called stomata through which exchange of gases takes place. Oxygen from the air diffuses into the leaves through the stomata which reaches all other cells where it is used in the transpiration. The carbon dioxide that is produced during the respiration diffuses out from the leaves through the same stomata. Since respiration occurs both in day and night, but photosynthesis occurs only in the daytime, some oxygen produced during the daytime is used little bit in photosynthesis. So, during the daytime, the carbon dioxide that is produced is used up in the photosynthesis by the leaves. But at the night time, since no photosynthesis occurs, hence no oxygen is produced. Therefore, oxygen from the air diffuses into the leaves to carry out the respiration process. And the carbon dioxide produced during the respiration is diffused out into the air. Now, as we have discussed about the respiration in plants, let us move on towards the respiration in human being. In human being, respiration starts with the taking in of oxygen and giving out of carbon dioxide. This process is known as breathing. In other words, breathing is the process by which air rich in oxygen is taken inside and the air rich in carbon dioxide is given out. The process by which air rich in oxygen is taken inside is known as inhalation, and the process by which air rich in carbon dioxide is given out is known as exhalation. We all respire, right? But do you know what are the organs that helps us in respiration? Let me tell you. The main organs of respiratory system are nose, nasal passage, trachea, bronchus, lungs and diaphragm. Inside the lungs, there are bronchioles, alveoli and the blood capillaries. Okay, so now let us more discuss about the respiratory system. Human nose has two holes in it called the nostrils. There is a passage behind the nostrils called the nasal passage. Air for respiration is drawn inside our body through the nostrils and are passed through the nasal passage. The nasal passage has fine hairs and mucus that restrict the entry of the dust particles and impurities up to our lungs. From the nasal passage, air enters into the pharynx, which is present between the mouth and the windpipe, and then from the pharynx it goes into the windpipe, that is also known as trachea. Trachea or the windpipe has ring of soft bones called the cartilages, which prevents the trachea from collapsing even when no air is present. The upper end of the trachea has voice box called the larynx. The trachea runs down the neck and divides into smaller tubes known as the bronchi, which is present at its lower end. Two bronchi are connected to the two lungs. The lungs lie in the chest cavity, which is separated from the abdominal cavity by a muscular sheet known as the diaphragm. The lungs stay protected inside the bony structure which is also known as rib cage. They are also covered by the two thin membrane called the pleura that protect the lungs. The bronchus divides in the lungs to form large number of smaller tubes called the bronchioles. The bronchioles have tiny air sac at their end called the alveoli. The wall of the alveoli are surrounded by very thin blood capillaries which helps them in the gaseous exchange. When we breathe in air, the diaphragm and the muscle attached to the rib cage contract, due to which the chest cavity expands. This expansion increases the volume inside the chest cavity, due to which air pressure decreases inside the chest cavity and air from outside rushes into the lungs through the nostrils, trachea and bronchi. In this way, the alveoli gets filled with the oxygen. The oxygen is carried by the blood to all parts of the body. As the blood passes through the tissue of the body, the oxygen present in it diffuses into the cells. This oxygen combines with the digested food in the cell to release energy. Carbon dioxide gas that is produced as a waste product is diffused into the blood and is exhaled out.
Catabolic processes in our body require oxygen and produce carbon dioxide. The absorption of oxygen and release of carbon dioxide both take place in the lungs. In a relaxed state, we inhale about 16 times a minute and exchange about half a liter of air each time. Lung cancer is a serious illness of the lungs. Smoking greatly increases the chance of its development.
The average breathing rate in an adult at rest is 15 to 18 times per minute. Till now, we have discussed about the respiratory organ of plant and human being. Now, we're going to discuss about the respiratory organ of some other organisms in brief. Number 1. Unicellular organism like amoeba and paramecium. In amoeba and paramecium, respiration occurs through the cell membrane. The diffusion of gases takes place through the thin cell membrane present in them. Number 2. Organisms like earthworm and leeches have moist skin which helps them in the respiratory process. Number 3. Fish. Fish have gills which acts as their respiratory organ, except in the blue whale. Blue whale have lungs as their respiratory organ. Number 4. Frog. There is an interesting fact about frog. You will be surprised to know that frog have two respiratory organs. One is their moist skin and second is their lungs. They use both during respiration. That's all for the today's class. In our next class, we will move towards the next life process. Till then, watch our video and also comment down below with your various queries. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel Nucleus. Thank you.